Truth Not Veiled here, and today I have some very important information to share with you. In case you haven't heard about it, it has to do with the EBT card outages and what has been going on. What is your government getting ready for? But I'm here at the activist post from Michael Schneider, and it says EBT card outage. It is 8 days into June, and many Americans are still waiting for food stamp money. More like 10 days, because later on I'm going to take you to all of the reports of power outages, and you're going to see that this has been going on for a long time now. But it says widespread reports continue to pour in from all over the nation of glitches, so to speak, with the food stamp system. Very interesting, because I just talked about glitches with other companies just a couple of days ago, and now we're seeing it with EBT too. Oh, very suspicious indeed. But it goes on to say it is 8 days, or really 10 days into the month now, and large numbers of people still have not received their benefits. And in other instances, it is being reported that EBT cards are simply not working correctly. So what in the world is going on here at downdetector.com, which we will be going to in a minute? There are scores of reports of problems with the EBT system from people all over the nation. Could this simply be another example of government incompetence? Or is there something else at work here? What's interesting about all of this is that since the beginning of 2016, the US government has had over 2,700 reports on downdetector.com showing that they have been late loading the money onto these EBT cards. And it's not just EBT cards that aren't working as well, it's also these rush cards and everything else. What is going on? And also many people are reporting of EBT not working and also complaining about it, and it's only a matter of time until it gets much worse from here. Not to mention there have been a lot of power outages recently and internet outages as well. What is really going on here is the question that is making people not receive their EBT benefits on time. And like I said, later on we're going to actually go to these reports so that you can see yourself exactly what they're getting ready for, because there's obviously something bigger going on. There's something up the government's sleeve that they don't want you to know. Like I said in many other of my videos, and I will keep saying it, what does your government do? Problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem and then they offer their own solution. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the Michael Schneider report goes on to talk about the problems in Venezuela and how we're seeing a ton of food shortage in Venezuela, but it also talks about how many people are on EBT and what were to happen if the EBT were to shut off. Now, it says many Americans just assume that our government will always have plenty of money to give out. As I mentioned above, there are well over 40 million Americans that receive some type of EBT benefits or EBT in general. However, when you factor in all government programs, more than 100 million Americans get some form of money or benefits from the federal government each month. So what would happen if someday, if suddenly, all of a sudden, the spigot was turned off? What would those 100 million people do? How would they survive? And like I said, you should be looking at Venezuela for this, because what are the Venezuelans doing when they don't have food? They're hunting dogs, cats, and pigs. And you don't think that's coming to America? It's time to think again. But it goes on to say, hopefully this current EBT outage is just a temporary technical glitch, and hopefully the government will get it fixed in short order. But someday there will be a major crisis that will cause food stamp benefits to be cut off either permanently or for an extended period of time. And most likely, knowing our government, it's going to be permanent. But the question is, are you ready and are you prepared for that to happen? Are you prepared to stand in that evil day? And are you prepared for the civil unrest that's going to come with that? Because now I'm here at Down Detector, and as you can see, this talks about the SNAP EBT, and it talks about all of the problems that have been going on. And what you're going to see is that these problems have been prolonging for the past few days now, and they're still prolonging today even as we speak. So for the past 10 days, these problems are not getting any better. I wonder why that is. But as you can see, within the last 24 hours, as of June 10th, actually, this past Friday, you see that the problems are beyond crazy. You see payments are problems, the websites are problems, and you can also see the reports within the past 24 hours as well. So you see right here, there have been 56 reports around this time, and there's even been 27, 44, 53, 64. So you can see it's all fluctuating. All of these reports have been reported by many people and by many Americans on the EBT system within the last 24 hours alone. But if you thought it just stopped there, oh no, it doesn't stop here, because here I am at the problems at SNAP EBT, and this shows the report from June 10th, so today alone. And as you can see, this problem is ongoing and prolonging itself beyond measure. And what you're also going to see is that the overview of these problems have been going on, and it's a constant thing. Now, as you can look at the graph below, you'll see that today alone, that the problems consist of, you see all of these different reports of people not being able to use their EBT and their SNAP being down all the way. You can see 26 reports at one point. You can also see up to 64 reports. Earlier ago, you could see that the highest made was 69 reports, and it keeps going with 67, 55, 56, 64, and the numbers just fluctuate all over the place. And like I said, the question we should be thinking about always is, why is this the case? Especially when I'm about to take you to and show you a report where your government is looking to cut more than 500,000 people from SNAP, if not up to 1 million, and I'm not making that up. And you're also going to see that they've been planning and testing this stuff for a long time. And like I said in one of my other videos, they're testing this stuff and getting ready for it, for what, martial law, to bring in the foreign troops, because your government and your military are vehemently preparing for Jade Helm drills. They're preparing for all of this civil unrest. They're preparing for people to go nuts when there's no more food in the stores. And they're preparing for the shutdown of not only SNAP and EBT cards, but they're also preparing for the shutdown of the banks and of the ATMs when you can no longer use your money. What do you think that's leading up to? I'm telling you, the government is literally telling you what time it is. The elite are literally telling you what time it is. But hopefully you can see the warning signs ahead of time and prepare accordingly. Now I'm back at Down Detector, and as you can see, this is the archive of the SNAP EBT, as well as the problems and outages for the SNAP EBT. Now as you can see, as I scroll down, you can see there have been many problems reported today as of June 10, today again, and you see the problems just increase more and more. We see 2 reports of problems back from yesterday on June 9th. We also see problems reported on June 8th. We see it twice there. We also see it on June 7th as well, reported twice. We also see problems reported on June 6th, and I'll leave the link below if you would like to take more a look on this. We see it reported twice on June 6th, not to mention June 5th as well. And before that, we see it reported on June 1st. But before that, we didn't have problems until the middle of May, and then it keeps going with problems in May as well. So why are we seeing an uptick with problems? And more importantly, when you analyze this even more, why are we seeing a lot of problems with SNAP and EBT at the beginning of the month is the better question, because we see it in the beginning of April as well. So the beginning of April, we see problems, the beginning of May, as well as the beginning of June. But the problems with June have been prolonging and transpiring for the past 10 days. What is really going on, and what are they getting ready for? Now, I've gone over this in my EBT video, and I've talked about how the government is planning on using and incorporating a biometric identification system with the EBT. Is that what they're getting ready for? Are they getting ready for the new world currency along with the new world order? Is that what they're planning for? But I'm here at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, and I've already talked about this, so I'll briefly go over it again. But it says more than 500 adults will lose SNAP benefits in 2016 as waivers expire. And of course, this comes from and talks about affected unemployed childless individuals are very poor, few qualify for other help. And basically they're saying, oh, there's not enough benefits for the people who are already on it. We need to make room for those who aren't on it, and that's why they're cutting people. At least that's what they want us to believe. But it says more than 500,000, and look, as many as 1 million of the nation's poorest people will be cut off SNAP, formerly known as the Food Stamp Program, over the course of 2016 due to the return in many areas of a 3-month limit on SNAP benefits for unemployed adults aged 18 to 49 who aren't disabled or raising minor children. So up to 1 million people are about to be cut from SNAP within the next couple of months. And I've done this in detail in my EBT video, which I will link below so that you can see it yourself. But is that all? Is that the only thing that your government's getting ready for? Oh, of course not, because here I am at CBS, and this was reported back from October 2013. I've gone over this more in my EBT video, but it says computer glitch blamed for nationwide EBT system shutdown on Saturday. And like I said, anytime you hear about a computer glitch or a technical glitch or a virus or a bank virus or anything like that, some serious red flags should be ringing, especially when they don't know the cause and, oh, the cause is unclear. No, they know the cause. They're the ones causing it. They as in the government, they as in your elite and the Zionists who are getting ready and preparing for the new world order, because serious red flags should be ringing, because anytime you hear about a glitch, just know that they are preparing to enact the new world order, out with the old, in with the new, Phoenix rising out of the ashes. And as you can see, this was a nationwide problem. More than 17 states were affected by this in 2013. And you don't think they're getting ready for this? Just like I said in my other videos, it's all a test. Why do you think you're seeing so many banking glitches? Why do you think you're seeing so many technical glitches with banks and other companies and corporations? Because they're getting ready. But please see the warning signs ahead of time, and please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, because it's all a test. They're getting ready. We don't know the day or hour, but we know it's coming. This is Truth Unveiled here, keeping you updated and saying shalom.